The agenda generally is been is a guide to everyone in the House of Representatives, and is more or less part of the document in addition to the standing order that everybody try to look at maybe when you are trying to put a motion together or when you are trying to put a bill together, to ensure that your thought process is in line with what we have in the legislative agenda. It was put together, quite well by a good number of people. Looked through it very well to ensure that there are things there that promotes the general well-being and development of the country. I mean, some of these you have mentioned, the constitutional amendment. There are areas that has to do with education, there are areas that has to do with agric, and all the various, and security, and all of that. Now, in addition, in terms of implementing it, particularly in the area of constitutional amendment, which is the area you particularly mentioned, I think that is one area that there has been a lot of inputs from members, despite the fact that it's just 1 year of sitting. That's one area that a lot of contributions and activities has has happened. You will notice that recently there was this conference on state policing that was put together by the House of Representatives, and all the stakeholders, the police, the vice president, and everybody was part of that. The idea was to engage the nation in that regard, so that we can go back and begin to do the right thing that needs to be done within the Harlow Chambers or the National Assembly. And I think what came out of that was all towards the constitutional changes, like you said. Also recently there was a conference that was held in somewhere in the south, I think in Akwa Ibom. The chairman of the constitutional amendment in the House of Reps is the deputy speaker. And I think, of course, that is one young man that has the zeal and the drive to do quite a lot of good things. And, that's also been put together. It was a conference of about 3 or 4 days. And I think they're looking at all the local government autonomy, policing, control of mineral resources, power devolution. All of those areas are being looked at. Recently, and I think the ambassador referred to it, that is also on Zoom, referred to it, where we also have some legislators, that about 30-something of them. They even did a live press conference, and they also came up with their own ideas as to the things that they feel needs to be changed in the constitutions. So constitutional changes, there have been a lot of individual contributions. There are some that I was talking about, even the I think some part of the economic changes that also has its root in the constitution. So that is one area that there has been a lot. I have no doubt in my mind that with the kind of focus that has been looked at in that area, I'm sure that before the end of by this second year, some major steps will have been taken in that area, because that is one area that there's hardly any week that the House is sitting that there's no one thing or the other that has to do with the Constitution. So the summary of my contribution in that regard is that the agenda has clearly stated the areas that they want to look at, and I think the various committees that has to do with that, particularly the Constitutional Drafting Committee, is already taking a lot of steps. I mean, I just mentioned the conference that they had on the area of policing, where a lot of things have to come, and so many other things. And individuals are also coming up. Apart from that, I don't know whether you are aware that there was also a bill on this parliamentary parliamentary changes led by a group of people led by Honorable Dasuki from Sokoto State. That is also going on. So different, ideas are coming. We all believe that for Nigeria to move forward, for Nigeria to move from where it is, we definitely need to do a lot of major changes in the Constitution. And I think that the House of Representatives, the 10th Assembly of the House of Representatives is definitely taking a lot of steps towards that. All this has happened in the first 365 days. I mean, despite the issue of leadership and all of that, which is normal, when the new year, the assembly is starting. All this has happened in the first assembly. And I have no doubt that by my mind that by the time we are getting into the second year, by the time we resume on the 2nd of July, there will be some major changes steps rather, that Nigerians will begin to see towards realizing and actualizing some of these things.